The arrival. The vast emptiness of space suddenly erupted with activity as the Zarkonian fleet emerged from hyperspace. Thousands of sleek, silver ships filled the void, their hulls gleaming under the distant starlight. At the center of this armada loomed the flagship Eternal Dominion, a colossal vessel that dwarfed even the largest of Earth's space stations. Admiral Vexthor stood on the bridge of the Eternal Dominion, his four eyes narrowing as he gazed upon the blue-green planet before him. Earth, the homeworld of humanity, a species that had long been considered insignificant in the grand tapestry of galactic civilizations. Yet here, the Zarkonian fleet was ready to claim this world and its resources for their ever-expanding empire. Status report. Vexthor commanded, his voice a low rumble that sent shivers down the spines of his crew. All ships accounted for. Admiral, responded his second-in-command, Captain Zyle. Our stealth systems are functioning perfectly. The humans remain unaware of our presence. Vexthor's mouth twisted into what passed for a smile among his species. Excellent. Prepare thee. His words were cut short by a sudden alarm blaring through the ship. Red lights flashed, and the bridge crew scrambled to their stations. What is the meaning of this? Vexthor roared. Captain Zill's fingers danced across his console, his eyes widening with each passing second. Admiral, we're detecting a massive energy signature. It's coming from the dark side of Earth's moon. As if on cue, a colossal shape emerged from behind the lunar surface. At first, Vexthor thought it was some trick of the light, a sensor malfunction perhaps. But as the object fully revealed itself, he felt a chill run down his spine. It was a ship, a human ship, but unlike anything they had ever encountered before. The vessel was easily twice the size of the Eternal Dominion, it tall a deep midnight black that seemed to absorb the very starlight around it. Sleek lines and smooth curves gave it an almost organic appearance, as if it had been grown rather than built. But what truly set it apart were the pulsing blue lines that ran along its surface, like glowing veins carrying some otherworldly energy. Impossible, Vexthor whispered. The humans don't have this level of technology. Our intelligence reports. Admiral. Zyle interrupted, his voice tinged with panic. The human ship, it's powering up its weapons systems. Before Vexthor could respond, a brilliant beam of blue energy lanced out from the human vessel. It struck one of the Zarkonian scout ships at the edge of their formation, vaporizing it instantly. There wasn't even time for a distress signal. Battle stations. Vexthor bellowed, snapping out of his shock. All ships, engage defensive protocols. Prepare tow. His words were drowned out by the sound of more energy beams cutting through space. In a matter of seconds, a dozen more Zarkonian ships were reduced to cosmic dust. On Earth, in the underground command center of the United Earth Defense Force, General Sarah Chen watched the unfolding battle with a mix of awe and trepidation. Beside her, Dr. Amit Sharma, the lead scientist of Project Nexus, stood with his hands clasped behind his back, a small smile playing on his lips. It works, Dr. Sharma said softly. The Nexus actually works. General Chen nodded, her eyes never leaving the massive holographic display showing the space battle. I still can't believe we pulled it off. An entire battleship, hidden from the world, even from our own people. Not just a battleship, General, Dr. Sharma corrected. The U.S. Prometheus is the culmination of decades of reverse-engineered alien technology, quantum computing, and human ingenuity. It's our sword and shield against the stars. As they watched, the Prometheus unleashed another salvo of energy beams, each one finding its mark with unerring precision. The Zarkonian fleet, caught off guard and outgunned, began to scatter. Should we hail them? Asked Colonel Rodriguez, the communications officer. Offer them a chance to surrender. General Chen considered this for a moment before shaking her head. No, we can't risk giving away any information. For all we know, there could be more alien fleets waiting to jump in. Let the Prometheus do its job. We'll deal with the diplomatic fallout later. Back in space, Admiral Vexthor was frantically trying to regain control of the situation. His fleet, once an unstoppable force of conquest, was now in disarray. Ship after ship fell to the Prometheus's advanced weaponry. "We need to retreat," Captain Seidel shouted over the chaos on the bridge. "Admiral, we're no match for this monster." Vexthor gritted his teeth, his pride warring with his survival instinct. He had never retreated from a battle, had never tasted defeat. But as he watched another wave of his ships disintegrate under the human vessel's onslaught, he knew he had no choice. "All ships," he growled into the fleet-wide communication channel. "Initiate emergency hyperspace jump. Scatter Protocol Omega. We'll regroup at the fallback point." As the Zarkonian ships began to wink out of existence, jumping to the safety of hyperspace, Vexthor took one last look at the Prometheus. Its massive form loomed against the backdrop of Earth, a silent guardian that had single-handedly turned the tide of what should have been an easy conquest. "This isn't over," Vexthor muttered as the Eternal Dominion prepared for its jump. "We'll be back, humans. And next time, we'll be ready for your tricks." With a flash of light, the flagship disappeared, leaving behind only debris and unanswered questions. On the bridge of the Prometheus, Captain Elena Rossi allowed herself a small smile. The ship's AI, HFY, Advanced Reconnaissance and Intelligence Assistant, had performed flawlessly, predicting and countering every move the alien fleet had made. "Status report, HFY," Captain Rossi commanded. The AI's holographic avatar, a shimmering blue figure, appeared beside her. "All systems functioning at optimal levels, Captain. The alien fleet has retreated. I detect no remaining hostile presence in the solar system." Rossi nodded, feeling the weight of the moment. Humanity had just announced its presence on a galactic stage in the most dramatic way possible. There would be consequences, diplomatic nightmares to navigate, and undoubtedly more battles to fight. But for now, Earth was safe. "Take us home, HFY," she said softly. "It's time the world knew about its new protector." As the Prometheus began its journey back to Earth, its massive form casting a shadow over the planet it had just saved, the crew couldn't help but feel a sense of pride. Humanity had faced its first true extraterrestrial threat and emerged victorious. But in the vast expanse of the galaxy, news of this battle was already spreading. Other alien races, once dismissive of the primitive humans, now looked toward Earth with a mix of fear, respect, and in some cases, a burning desire for vengeance. The age of human isolation was over. A new era of galactic politics, alliances, and conflicts was about to begin. And at the center of it all stood the Prometheus, a testament to human determination and ingenuity, ready to face whatever challenges the universe might throw their way. First contact. In the days following the Zarkonian fleet's retreat, Earth was abuzz with activity. The existence of the Prometheus could no longer be kept secret, and governments worldwide scrambled to address their citizens' fears and questions. News channels ran nonstop coverage, experts debated the implications of advanced alien life, and social media exploded with theories and reactions. At the United Nations headquarters in New York, an emergency session had been called. Representatives from every nation on Earth gathered to discuss humanity's next steps. The atmosphere was tense, a mix of excitement and apprehension palpable in the air. Dr. Amit Sharma stood at the podium, facing the assembled delegates. Behind him, a massive screen displayed various images of the Prometheus and data from the recent battle. "Ladies and gentlemen," he began, his voice steady despite the gravity of the situation, "what you're seeing is the culmination of decades of secret research and development. The U.S. Prometheus represents the pinnacle of human technological achievement, incorporating reverse-engineered alien technology with our own innovations." Murmurs rippled through the crowd. A delegate from Russia stood up, his face flushed with anger. How could such a project be kept secret from the international community? This is a violation of numerous treaties. Dr. Sharma held up a hand, calling for calm. I understand your concerns. The decision to develop the Prometheus in secret was not made lightly. But consider this. Had we not had this ace up our sleeve, Earth might now be under alien occupation. The Russian delegate sat down, still grumbling, but others nodded in agreement. The question now, Dr. Sharma continued, is how we proceed. The galaxy now knows of our capabilities. We can expect diplomatic overtures, trade offers, and potentially more threats. As if on cue, an aide rushed to the podium, whispering urgently in Dr. Sharma's ear. His eyes widened, and he turned back to the microphone. Ladies and gentlemen, we've just received word. An alien ship has entered our solar system, broadcasting a message of peace. They're requesting a diplomatic meeting. The assembly erupted into chaos, delegates shouting questions and demands. It took several minutes for order to be restored. Meanwhile, high above Earth, the Prometheus maintained its vigilant watch. Captain Elena Rossi stood on the bridge, studying the holographic display of the approaching alien vessel. AI analysis, she commanded. The AI's avatar shimmered into existence. The ship matches no known configurations in our database, Captain. It appears to be unarmed and is broadcasting on all frequencies in multiple languages, including English. They identify themselves as the Galactic Concord, a coalition of peaceful species. Rossi's brow furrowed. Could it be a trick? The Zarkonians trying a new approach? Unlikely, AI responded. The technology signatures are distinctly different. However, I recommend maintaining combat readiness, just in case. Rossi nodded, then opened a channel to Earth. General Chen, are you seeing this? In the UN Assembly Hall, now converted into an impromptu command center, General Sarah Chen's voice rang out over the speakers. We see it, Captain. The Security Council is debating our response now. After hours of heated discussion, a decision was reached. Earth would agree to a diplomatic meeting, but with conditions. The alien representatives would be allowed to land at a designated site in neutral territory, the middle of the Sahara Desert. A small delegation from Earth, including military personnel and scientists, would meet them, and the Prometheus would maintain a watchful presence overhead. As the sun rose over the desert, casting long shadows across the dunes, a shimmering portal opened in the sky. The alien diplomatic vessel emerged, a sleek, pearlescent craft that seemed to glow in the morning light. It landed gracefully on the prepared landing pad, kicking up small clouds of sand. The Earth delegation, led by Dr. Sharma and General Chen, stood at a safe distance, flanked by heavily armed soldiers. Tension was thick in the air as the ship's hatch slowly opened. 3 figures emerged, each distinctly alien yet somehow familiar. The leader, a tall, willowy being with iridescent skin and large, almond-shaped eyes, stepped forward. Greetings, people of Earth. It spoke, its voice melodious and soothing. I am Ambassador Exiltha of the Galactic Concord. We come in peace and with great interest in your world. Dr. Sharma stepped forward, his heart pounding but his voice steady. Welcome to Earth, Ambassador Exiltha. I am Dr. Amit Sharma, and this is General Sarah Chen. We represent the people of Earth in this historic meeting. Exiltha's eyes seemed to shimmer with an inner light. We have long observed your world from afar, fascinated by your potential. But recent events, your defense against the Zarkonian invasion, have proven that you are ready to join the greater galactic community. General Chen, ever cautious, spoke up. And what exactly does joining this community entail? We've just fought off one alien invasion. How can we be sure your intentions are truly peaceful? Exiltha's expression shifted to one of understanding. Your caution is warranted, General. The galaxy can indeed be a dangerous place. That is why the Galactic Concord exists, to promote peace, foster scientific and cultural exchange, and provide mutual defense against aggressive species like the Zarkonians. As the conversation continued, more details emerged. The Galactic Concord was a loose federation of over 100 species, spanning 3 spiral arms of the Milky Way. They offered humanity membership, which would grant access to advanced technologies, trade routes, and a seat at the table of galactic politics. But there was a catch. "We must know," Exilva said, its tone growing serious, "about the ship you call Prometheus. Such technology, in the hands of a young species, could be seen as a threat by some members of the Concord." Dr. Sharma and General Chen exchanged glances. This was the moment they had prepared for. "The Prometheus," Dr. Sharma began carefully, "is a product of human ingenuity, reverse-engineered alien technology, and our determination to protect our world. We will not give it up or share its secrets. It is our guarantee of independence in this new galactic era we're entering." Exilva was silent for a long moment, its large eyes unblinking. Then, to everyone's surprise, it made a sound that could only be interpreted as laughter. "Well said, Dr. Sharma. Your species continues to impress us. Many in the Concord believed you would eagerly trade your new technology for our protection. But you choose to stand on your own feet. This is why we believe humanity has great potential." The tension in the air eased somewhat, but General Chen remained alert. "So where do we go from here, Ambassador?" Exilva spread its arms in a gesture of openness. "We propose a gradual integration. Cultural and scientific exchanges to start. Perhaps joint peacekeeping missions against pirates and rogue elements in nearby sectors. All while Earth maintains its independence and the Prometheus remains under your control." As the diplomatic talks continued under the hot desert sun, high above in orbit, Captain Rossi watched the proceedings through the Prometheus's advanced sensors. "What do you think, Araya?" she asked the AI. "Can we trust them?" Araya's holographic form flickered thoughtfully. "Based on all available data, the Galactic Concord appears genuine in its peaceful intentions. However, I recommend continued vigilance. The galaxy is vast, and we have much to learn." Rossi nodded, her gaze drifting to the blue-green planet below. Humanity stood on the brink of a new age. The stars, once distant and unreachable, now held promise and peril in equal measure. As the first day of negotiations drew to a close, both human and alien delegates retired to their respective quarters. The Galactic Concord's ship remained on the landing pad, a symbol of the new era dawning for Earth. In cities around the world, people gathered in streets and squares, watching the news with a mix of hope and trepidation. The age of Earth's isolation was truly over. Humanity had taken its first steps into a larger universe, armed with determination, ingenuity, and the silent guardian that was the Prometheus. Whatever challenges lay ahead, they would face them not as a single battle of the void. As weeks turned into months, Earth's integration into the galactic community progressed at a cautious but steady pace. Cultural exchanges flourish, with alien art exhibitions drawing massive crowds in major cities, while human music and literature found enthusiastic audiences among various species of the Galactic Concord. Scientists from Earth eagerly collaborated with their alien counterparts, making rapid advancements in fields ranging from medicine to quantum physics. However, not all was peaceful in the cosmic neighborhood. The Zarkonians, humiliated by their defeat at the hands of the Prometheus, had been busy. Intelligence reports from Concord operatives suggested that they were amassing a new fleet, one that dwarfed their previous Armada. Their goal was clear: to crush Earth and seize the technology that had bested them. On a crisp autumn morning, alarms blared through the United Earth Defense Force headquarters. General Chen rushed into the command center, her face grim. "Status report," she barked. Colonel Rodriguez, now promoted to head of communications, turned from his console. "Multiple hyperspace signatures detected at the edge of our solar system, General. It's them. The Zarkonians are back." Chen's jaw tightened. "How many?" "Thousands of ships, ma'am. At least 3 times the size of their previous fleet. And there's something else." Rodriguez hesitated, his voice dropping. "They appear to have some new technology. Our long-range scanners are having trouble getting clear readings. Chen nodded, having expected this. The Zarkonians wouldn't have returned without a plan to counter the Prometheus. Alert all Earth defense stations, launch our satellite defense grid, and get me Captain Rossi on the Prometheus. As Earth's military machines sprang into action, tensions ran high across the planet. Despite months of preparation and the advancements gained from the Galactic Concord, the sheer size of the approaching Zarkonian fleet sent waves of fear through the population. In orbit, the Prometheus powered up its systems, its sleek black hull gleaming against the backdrop of stars. Captain Elena Rossi stood on the bridge, her crew at battle stations. "HFY, give me a full tactical analysis," Rossi commanded. The AI's holographic form materialized, its expression uncharacteristically concerned. "Captain, the Zarkonian fleet's new ships are emitting an unknown form of energy. It appears to be interfering with our targeting systems. Additionally, their hulls seem to be coated with a material that partially absorbs our energy weapons." Rossi's brow furrowed. "They've been busy. Recommendations. Engaging the entire fleet directly would be inadvisable." Araya replied. "I suggest focusing our efforts on their command ships while Earth's defenses and our support vessels handle the smaller craft." Rossi nodded, then opened a channel to Earth. "General Chen, we're ready up here. But be advised, the Zarkonians have some new tricks. This won't be as easy as last time." Chen's voice crackled over the comm. "Understood, Captain. We've got your back." The Galactic Concord has also pledged support. They're sending ships, but they won't arrive for several hours. We need to hold the line until then. As the Zarkonian fleet entered the solar system, the space around Earth erupted into chaos. The Prometheus launched forward, its advanced engines propelling it at speeds that seemed to defy physics. Earth's defense satellites fired salvos of energy beams and missiles, creating a deadly web of firepower. But the Zarkonians were prepared this time. Their ships moved in intricate formations, using smaller vessels to absorb hits meant for their larger warships. And true to Araya's analysis, many of the energy weapons seemed to dissipate harmlessly against their new hull technology. Admiral Vexthor, standing once again on the bridge of the Eternal Dominion, allowed himself a grim smile. "You see," he growled to his crew, "the humans are not invincible. Their precious Prometheus bleeds." Indeed, while the Earth ship was still inflicting heavy damage, it was not the one-sided battle of before. Zarkonian ships managed to land hits on the Prometheus, its shields flaring under the assault. Inside the Prometheus, the bridge shook as another volley struck home. "Shields at 60% and dropping," an officer reported. Captain Rossi gripped her command chair, her mind racing. "Araya, we need a new strategy. At this rate, we'll be overwhelmed." The eye was silent for a moment, its processors working at incredible speeds to analyze the battle. "Captain, I believe I've identified a pattern in the enemy's ship movements. If we can disrupt their formation, we may be able to create an opening to their command ships." Rossi leaned forward. "Show me." A holographic display appeared, showing the complex dance of the Zarkonian fleet. Araya highlighted a series of points where the formation seemed to pivot. "These are their coordination nodes," Araya explained. "If we can take out enough of them simultaneously, it should throw their entire fleet into disarray." Rossi nodded, a plan forming in her mind. "All right, here's what we're going to do. Araya, I want you to take control of our support drones. Program them with this attack pattern. We'll use them as a distraction while we make a run for those nodes." As the plan was put into action, the battle took on a new intensity. The Prometheus's support drones, small but agile craft usually used for repair and reconnaissance, suddenly became a swarm of deadly attackers. They weaved through the Zarkonian formation, their erratic movements confusing the alien gunners. In the chaos, the Prometheus made its move. With pinpoint accuracy, it fired its main weapons at the coordination nodes Aria had identified. One by one, they erupted into balls of fire and debris. The effect was immediate and dramatic. The once orderly Zarkonian fleet began to fall into disarray. Ships collided with each other, their carefully planned formations crumbling. "Now's our chance," Rossi shouted. "All power to forward weapons. Target their command ships." The Prometheus surged forward, its weapons blazing. Without the protection of their coordinated fleet, the Zarkonian command ships found themselves exposed. The Earth vessels' energy beams cut through their defenses, reducing ship after ship to twisted metal. On the Eternal Dominion, Admiral Vexthor watched in horror as his fleet fell apart around him. "Impossible," he muttered, his earlier confidence evaporating. How could they have known? But there was no time for contemplation. A massive energy beam from the Prometheus struck the Eternal Dominion, tearing through its shields and ripping a gaping hole in its hull. "Admiral," Captain Zeil shouted over the alarms and explosions, "we must retreat. The fleet is lost." Vexthor stood frozen for a moment, his four eyes wide with disbelief. Then, with a roar of frustration, he gave the order. "All ships, emergency retreat. Scatter to the fallback points." As the remnants of the once mighty Zarkonian armada fled, leaving behind a graveyard of destroyed ships, a cheer went up from the Prometheus's bridge. Captain Rossi allowed herself a small smile, but she knew the battle had taken its toll. The Prometheus's hull was scared, its shields dangerously low. "Stand down from red alert," she ordered. "Begin damage assessment and repairs. And send word to Earth. We've won, but at a cost." As the adrenaline of battle faded, the true scale of what had transpired began to sink in. Earth had faced its greatest threat yet and emerged victorious. The Prometheus, while damaged, had proven its worth many times over. But questions remained. How had the Zarkonians developed their new technology so quickly? And more importantly, would they be back? As the Prometheus limped back to Earth orbit for repairs, the first ships of the Galactic Concorde's reinforcement fleet began to arrive. They were too late for the battle, but their presence was a reminder that humanity was no longer alone in the cosmos. In the aftermath of the Battle of the Void, as it came to be known, Earth found itself in a new position. No longer just a fledgling member of the galactic community, it was now recognized as a formidable power in its own right. The Prometheus and the ingenuity of humanity had changed the balance of power in this sector of the galaxy. As cleanup operations began and diplomats prepared for the inevitable fallout, one thing was clear: Earth's journey among the stars was just beginning, and the universe would never be the same. Turning the tide. In the months following the Battle of the Void, Earth found itself in a unique position. The decisive victory over the Zarkonian fleet had catapulted humanity from a newcomer on the galactic stage to a force to be reckoned with. The Galactic Concorde, impressed by Earth's ingenuity and the power of the Prometheus, began to view humans as valuable allies rather than naive newcomers. However, with great power came great responsibility and great danger. Intelligence reports suggested that the Zarkonians, though defeated, were far from destroyed. Their remaining forces had retreated to the fringes of known space, licking their wounds and undoubtedly planning their revenge. In a secure underground facility beneath the Rocky Mountains, Earth's top military and scientific minds gathered to plan their next move. The room was a blend of cutting-edge technology and tense atmosphere, with holograms displaying star charts and alien ship designs floating above the central table. General Chen stood at the head of the table, her face etched with the weariness of constant vigilance. "Ladies and gentlemen, we've bought ourselves some time, but we can't afford to rest on our laurels. The Zarkonians will be back, and next time, they'll be even more prepared." Dr. Sharma nodded in agreement. "We've been analyzing the data from the last battle. The Zarkonians' new technology, while impressive, has a fatal flaw. Their energy-absorbing hulls, and our countermeasures are locked in an arms race. We need to think outside the box." Captain Rossi, attending via holographic projection from the orbiting Prometheus, leaned forward. "What do you have in mind, Doctor?" A sly smile crossed Sharma's face. We've been so focused on bigger guns and stronger shields that we've overlooked a crucial aspect of space warfare: information. I propose we develop a new type of weapon, one that doesn't destroy ships but instead hijacks them. The room erupted into murmurs of surprise and skepticism. General Chen raised an eyebrow. Hijacks them? How? Dr. Sharma tapped a few commands on his tablet, and a new hologram appeared. A complex web of circuitry and code. We call it the Nexus Override. It's a combination of advanced AI algorithms and quantum entanglement principles. In theory, it could allow us to temporarily take control of enemy ships, turning their fleet against itself. The implications were staggering. If successful, such a weapon could change the nature of space combat entirely. However, the ethical concerns were immediately apparent. And what happens to the crews of these ships? Captain Rossi asked, her voice tight with concern. Dr. Sharma's expression sobered. The override would be temporary, and we'd prioritize non-lethal actions. But I won't lie. There are risks. We're talking about interfering with life support systems, navigation, weapons. It's not without ethical challenges. General Chen paced the length of the table, considering. The potential to end conflicts with minimal loss of life is tempting, but the possibility of this technology falling into the wrong hands, it could be catastrophic. The debate raged for hours, with passionate arguments on both sides. In the end, the decision was made to proceed with the development of the Nexus Override, but under the strictest secrecy and with multiple failsafes built in. As the weeks passed, work on the new weapon progressed rapidly. The Prometheus underwent modifications to house the complex systems required for the override. Meanwhile, the ship continued its patrols, ever vigilant for signs of Zarkonian activity. It was during one such patrol, in a remote sector near the edge of Concord space, that the Prometheus made a startling discovery. Aria's sensors detected an anomalous energy signature emanating from an uncharted planet. Captain, Aria's holographic form materialized on the bridge. I'm detecting technology far beyond anything in our database. It doesn't match Zarkonian, Concord, or any known species' energy patterns. Captain Rossi frowned. Could it be a natural phenomenon? Negative, Aria replied. The energy fluctuations are too regular, too controlled. This is artificial and incredibly advanced. Rossi made a quick decision. Take us in closer, but maintain stealth protocols. I want to know what we're dealing with before we alert Earth or the Concord. As the Prometheus approached the mysterious planet, the crew watched in awe as the sensors revealed more details. The planet's surface was covered in sprawling megastructures, their architecture unlike anything seen before. Rivers of energy flowed between colossal towers that seemed to defy physics. Aria, are you detecting any life signs? Rossi asked, her voice hushed. The eye was silent for a moment, processing the vast amounts of data streaming in. Negative, Captain. Whatever civilization built this, they're long gone. But the systems are still active, still running after who knows how long. The implications were staggering. They had stumbled upon the remnants of an ancient, hyper-advanced civilization. The potential knowledge and technology waiting to be discovered could change everything. Rossi opened a secure channel to Earth. General Chen, Dr. Sharma, you're going to want to see this. We may have just found the key to turning the tide against the Zarkonians and reshaping our understanding of the galaxy. As the transmission reached Earth, excitement and apprehension spread through the upper echelons of the global government. The discovery of this ancient technology could indeed be the game-changer they needed. But it also raised unsettling questions. What happened to the civilization that built it? And were humans ready for such advanced knowledge? Meanwhile, deep in Zarkonian space, Admiral Vexthor stood before the High Command, his once proud posture now hunched with the weight of defeat. The room was dark, lit only by the eerie glow of holographic displays, showing the devastating losses from the Battle of the Void. You have failed us, Admiral, The gravelly voice of the Zarkonian Imperator echoed through the chamber. "Twice now, these humans have humiliated our great empire. Your life is forfeit." Vex Thor straightened, a desperate gleam in his four eyes. "Wait, I bring news. News that could change everything." The Imperator leaned forward, intrigued despite himself. "Speak quickly, Vex Thor. Your next words may be your last." "Our deep cover agents have reported a new human weapon in development," Vex Thor said hurriedly. "Something that could control our ships, turn them against us. And now they've discovered something. An ancient power hidden away on a distant world." The chamber fell silent as the implications sank in. Finally, the Imperator spoke, his voice low and dangerous. "Perhaps you still have some use. Admiral, gather what forces we have left. If the humans want to play with powers beyond their understanding, we'll oblige them. And this time, we'll make sure there's nothing left of their world but ashes." As Vex Thor hurried out to carry out his orders, a sense of foreboding settled over the Zarkonian capital. The next confrontation with Earth would be more than a battle for supremacy. It would be a race to claim the legacy of an ancient power, a race that would determine the fate of not just humanity or the Zarkonians, but potentially the entire galaxy. Back on the Prometheus, unaware of the storm brewing in Zarkonian space, Captain Rossi and her crew prepared to explore the mysterious planet. As they donned their advanced exploration suits, each member of the team felt the weight of history on their shoulders. They were about to step into the unknown, to touch the remnants of a civilization that had reached heights humans had only dreamed of. "Remember," Rossi addressed her team, her voice firm but tinged with excitement, "we're not just exploring for Earth or for the Concord. What we discover here could change the course of galactic history. Stay alert, stay together, and let's make humanity proud." With a hiss of depressurization, the airlock opened, and the exploration team took their first steps onto the surface of the alien world. The ancient megastructures loomed above them, silent sentinels holding secrets that had waited eons to be discovered. As they ventured deeper into the alien city, none of them realized that their actions were setting in motion events that would soon plunge the galaxy into a conflict unlike any it had ever seen. A conflict that would test the limits of human ingenuity, courage, and the power of the Prometheus itself. A new era. The alien megastructures of the mysterious planet loomed over Captain Rossi and her exploration team as they cautiously made their way through the ancient city. Each step echoed through corridors that hadn't known life in millennia, the air thick with the weight of forgotten knowledge. Before they could investigate further, Aria's urgent voice cut through their comms. "Captain, we have a situation. Multiple Zarkonian ships have just entered the system. They're on an intercept course." Rossi's blood ran cold. "How? How did they find us?" "Unknown," Aria replied. "But they're approaching rapidly. ETA to weapons range. 10 minutes. Rossi turned to her team, her mind racing. "We need to get back to the ship. Now, Dr. Wong, grab whatever data you can. We can't let this fall into Zarkonian hands." As the team scrambled back towards the Prometheus, Dr. Wong worked feverishly to download as much information as possible from the alien repository. The device she held blinked rapidly, struggling to process the vast amounts of data flowing into it. Aboard the Prometheus, the crew prepared for battle. But as the Zarkonian fleet approached, it became clear that they were drastically outnumbered. "Sir," Lieutenant Yamamoto called out, his voice tense, "I'm counting at least 50 Zarkonian capital ships, with hundreds of smaller craft. We can't take them all." Rossi gritted her teeth. They were trapped between the planet and the oncoming fleet. Aria, options. The eye was silent for a moment, its processors working at incredible speeds. "Captain, I've analyzed some of the data Dr. Wong retrieved. There's a possibility, but it's risky." "At this point, I'll take any option," Rossi replied. "The alien technology seems to include a form of spatial manipulation," Aria explained. "In theory, We could use it to create a localized wormhole. It would allow us to escape, but the energy requirements are enormous. We'd be pushing our systems beyond their limits. Rossi didn't hesitate. Do it. Divert all non-essential power to the new systems, and get me a channel to Earth. As the crew rushed to implement Aria's calculations, Rossi opened a communication link to Earth Command. General Chen's hologram appeared on the bridge, her face etched with concern. "Captain, we're seeing the Zarkonian fleet. What's your status?" Rossi spoke quickly, aware of every passing second. "General, we've discovered something big. Ancient alien tech, more advanced than anything we've seen. But the Zarkonians are here, and we're outnumbered. We're attempting an emergency escape using the alien tech. If we don't make it, the data we've collected is being transmitted to you now. Don't let our discovery be in vain." Chen nodded solemnly. "Understood, Captain. Godspeed." As the transmission cut off, the first volley from the Zarkonian fleet lit up space. The Prometheus shuddered under the assault, its shields straining. "Aria, status on the wormhole," Rossi demanded. "Initiating now, Captain. But I must warn you, the stress on our systems is critical. There's a significant chance off." Aria's words were cut off as reality itself seemed to tear open before the Prometheus. A swirling vortex of energy, not unlike the repository they'd seen on the planet, yawned wide. "All power to engines," Rossi ordered. "Take us in." The Prometheus surged forward, diving into the wormhole just as another barrage of Zarkonian fire streaked past. The ship shuddered violently, alarms blaring as systems overloaded. For a moment that seemed to stretch into eternity, the crew of the Prometheus experienced a sensation beyond description. It was as if they were everywhere and nowhere. Their very atoms stretched across vast distances of space. Then, with a flash of blinding light and a bone-jarring impact, they emerged. Stars streaked past the view screen as the Prometheus tumbled through space. "Damage report," Rossi called out, struggling to her feet. "Multiple systems offline," Aria reported. "Shields at 5%, weapons non-functional. But Captain, we've traveled over 10,000 light-years in a matter of seconds." As the crew worked to stabilize the ship, a realization dawned. They had escaped, yes, but they were now farther from Earth than any human had ever been, in uncharted space with a badly damaged ship. Back in Earth's solar system, the sudden disappearance of the Prometheus left the Zarkonian fleet in disarray. Admiral Vexthor, watching from the bridge of his flagship, roared in frustration. Find them. They couldn't have just vanished. But as his ship scoured the system, finding no trace of the human vessel, a new threat emerged. The Galactic Concord, alerted by Earth to the Zarkonian incursion, arrived in force. Hundreds of ships from various member species dropped out of faster-than-light travel, surrounding the Zarkonian fleet. A transmission crackled through. "This is High Commander Zilvax of the Galactic Concord. Zarkonian forces, you are in violation of multiple treaties. Stand down immediately or face the consequences." Vextor, realizing he was now hopelessly outnumbered, had no choice but to surrender. The Battle of the Ancient World, as it would come to be known, ended not with a bang, but with a whimper. In the days and weeks that followed, the galaxy experienced a profound shift. The data transmitted by the Prometheus before its disappearance proved to be revolutionary. Earth scientists, working in conjunction with the brightest minds from the Galactic Concord, began to unravel the secrets of the ancient alien civilization. New technologies emerged at an astounding pace. Energy production, faster than light travel, even the nature of reality itself, all were transformed by the newfound knowledge. The Nexus override, once seen as a potential superweapon, was repurposed as a tool for peace, allowing for unprecedented levels of communication and understanding between species. The Zarkonian Empire, its military might broken and its aggressive expansionism revealed to all, was forced to the negotiating table. Under the watchful eye of the Galactic Concord, With Earth playing a key role, a new era of peace began to take shape. But amidst the celebrations and rapid advancements, a question lingered. What had become of the Prometheus and its brave crew? Light years away, Captain Rossi stood on the bridge of her damaged ship, staring out at an unfamiliar starscape. The Prometheus had limped to a nearby star system, finding refuge on a small habitable moon to enact repairs. "Aria?" Rossi asked, her voice quiet but determined. "How long until we can attempt a return journey?" The A's response was tinged with an almost human-like uncertainty. "Unknown, Captain. Our conventional faster-than-light drive is beyond repair with our current resources. As for replicating the wormhole technology, it could take years, maybe decades, to fully understand and implement it safely." Rossi nodded, a small smile playing on her lips. "Well then, we better get to work. We've got a lot of galaxy to explore on our way home." As the crew of the Prometheus began the long task of rebuilding and exploring their new surroundings, they were unaware of the profound impact their discovery had already had on the galaxy they left behind. Their journey had ushered in a new age of exploration, cooperation, and advancement. Back on Earth, as humans and aliens worked side by side to unlock the secrets of the universe, a monument was erected. A great statue of the Prometheus, poised as if leaping into the unknown, with a simple inscription beneath. "To those who ventured forth, who pushed the boundaries of the possible, and who showed the galaxy the true spirit of humanity. May your journey continue, and may you someday find your way home." And so, as one chapter of humanity's cosmic adventure came to a close, another, even grander one, began. The stars, once distant and mysterious, now beckoned with the promise of untold wonders. Humanity, having faced its trial by fire, emerged not just as survivors, but as pioneers of a new galactic age. The Prometheus, lost but not forgotten, had lit a beacon that would guide civilization into a future brighter than anyone could have imagined. And somewhere in the vast expanse of the universe, Captain Rossi and her crew continued their journey, carrying the best of humanity with them into the unknown.